area. Area. And area is what? What's area measured in? What kind of things do we talk about area of? Why do we need area? By the way, when you have kids, wouldn't be a bad name for somebody. Meet my child, area. Would area be a boy's name or a girl's name? It's because you think of aerial, probably. Area.
Could be either.
What would be the masculine form of area?
Aerial.
See, because Arietta would be the girl form. I think Ariel is a guy's name.
Area.
Arietta?
Don't tell
Aries.
my sister that.
Very bad.
Area.
What? Arietta?
No, Ariel. The Ariel's a guy's name.
I said Ariel.
Oh.
Ariel.
You can call him Aries.
Or Aria. Or Aria.
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 You're very off topic.
Area is measured in what? Danny? The basic unit of area is a, Elijah? Oh, square, yeah. Area is measured in squares. And those squares are all relative, which means this. You can have 1 square centimeter would look like this, be about that big. 1 centimeter squared or square centimeter. You can call it however you want. Okay, a square millimeter, by the way, would be a little tiny. Do you see that? Here, wait. Through only the magic of the board, check this out. I will do this. Let's see if I can make this.
Whoa.
Here we go. Here is going to be my square millimeter. By the way, a square millimeter, if this is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, I'd have to cut this into 10 and make it a 10. There's 100 of them in there, so I gotta make this pretty small here. Hold on. Here we go. That's probably going to be a little big. Not here, I gotta do it like this. 1 millimeter squared. So, go back to normal. How do I get it back to normal? I think I just do that.
Wow.
Whoops.
Wow.
Yes, I made an error already. There it is. There's your millimeter squared, which you can't see. A square foot would be 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. And you can look on the floor and see because every tile on the floor is a square foot. A square yard would be 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. And what you have to kind of get in your mind is this. If I asked you how many square feet are in a square yard, most people right off the bat want to tell me that there are how many square feet in a square yard. The natural answer is, and you know you're going to be wrong, so well, some of you might be right. Jenna Dervis, how many square feet in a square yard? What do you want to say? Huh? You do want to say 9? Wow. Raise your hand if you agree with Jenna. Ooh, Jenny, you've got some support there. Jenna's actually right, and that's why I just want to see. I want to see how many of you are with that. Most people want to say there's 3, because everybody say there's 3 feet in a yard. But what you have to remember is because yard is a square, Okay, you've got two dimensions of yards. This is a square foot. You're saying that only 3 of these, it only takes 3 of these to make up this? No. If you look at a square yard, here's my yard, I'll do my yard. Let's say this is my square yard, 1 yard square. You have to remember that a square yard is 3 feet by 3 feet. And how many square feet does it take to make a square yard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just like this. If I asked you how many square inches would be in a square foot, how many square inches, Kate, would be in a square foot? Here's my square foot. That's about a square foot. A square inch is about like this. How many square inches are in a square foot? Emily? More than that, a little bit more than that. Elijah? 144. Because a square foot is 12 inches by 12 inches. If it was 10 by 10, you get 100. 12 by 12 is 144 inches squared makes up 1 foot squared. And you have to think about that. You have to be careful when you're converting area units. Area units are different than straight measurement units. But that's not really today's lesson, so let's go into that. How do you find area of rectangles? That's pretty simple. Here's my rectangle. Let's say this is length and width. The generic formula for area of a rectangle is area just equals length times width, right? If this is, let's say this is 15 and this is 10, what's the area of that? 10 times 15, it doesn't matter what order we do it, area is 150. Let's say this is centimeters. Centimeters squared. That's not so bad, right? But what happens when we have a rectangle that has a cutout in it? What if it's missing a portion like this? Let's see, my rectangle is, what should we make this? 18 by 20 by 12 by, what's that look like? 14. 2 ways that you can go about doing this. These little complex shapes. The first way is to, what I like to say, divide and conquer. Because we don't have a formula that says how to find the area of a little rectangle with a cutout shape in it. Okay, you need to figure out, and you can do this a couple different ways. You need to cut this into 2 shapes that you can find rectangles on. So I've got, let's say I've got rectangle A right here, and I've got rectangle B up here. But you have to be very careful with this. What is the area, let's go with a pretty pink here. What would be the area for rectangle A? Area for rectangle A. What 2 things do I have to multiply together to get the area of rectangle A? Aubrey?
12 times 20.
And be very careful with that. I'm only doing rectangle A, so it's 12 times 20. Don't do 18 times 20, because 18 is too long. Rectangle A stops right there. You just want this dimension right here. So 12 times 20 is 240, I'm sure. And the area for rectangle B, what 2 things would I multiply for B, Isabel? 14 is right here, and times whatever this length is here, and that's the same thing we did with perimeter. You take 12 from 8 and you get 6. What is 12 times 6, or 14 times 6? That would be 84. Is this Ghostbusters now? So the total area is 240 plus 84, which is 324, let's go, inches squared. Another way that you could have done it, Jaden, shoot. What you could do, if you think this is easier and maybe it's quicker, is pretend like this whole thing is a ginormous rectangle, which would be 18 times 20, 360 if it's a big thing, and then just remove how much is not there. Well, how much is not there? This is a 6 by 6. Take away 36 from that because that's the area of the missing square, and you're going to get 324. This is the point where most people move and not bad. Not bad for your first time. Any other questions on that? Open up to page 51 in your books if you would, please be so kind.